Hey everyone, this is Trend Follower this side, and today we are gonna look at it's December 1st, and the plan is to look at some important supply and demand areas, some important POIs, and the reasons behind them for this week. So, before anything, let's see what are some important news events that we should focus on. So, this week would be from December 1st to 7th. What I really feel CHF CPI would be very interesting and it's month to month. And I think this would be very interesting. And we have some nice setups there. There is non-farm employment change, which can bring in volatility. But apart from that, I think one other one would be Powell speaking. Whenever he speaks, something can happen. So I would not be surprised, and I would be careful around this one. So this is where my most of the focus would be, which is CHF because of the CPI, USD because Powell speaking. But remember, it's on Wednesday, so like the volatility may be on Wednesday or Thursday, basically later part of the week. So that's where my major focus would be. And then we have CAD news like an unemployment rate and all that. But I truly believe CHF would be interesting. And odd may be interesting with retail sales month over month on Sunday itself, and then GDP quarter on quarter on Tuesday. So odd NZD can also be interesting. Anyway, now that's out of the way. These are some of the setups which I really love. First, I will go with the GBP CHF, as again, CHF pair it would be interesting. So what you can see here is the daily chart on the right and weekly on the left. What I like about the weekly is, there's a doji. It's not completely bullish. And then if you see there is this equal lows here, which can make things interesting, right? And we have a constant down move here, so we are following trend. There was a lot of weakness in GBP CHF, so we are following trend also. Weekly, this is a nice block, so when it tests here, that's good. But let's change this to weekly so that we can clearly see this. Um, let's use a line here instead, just to show if I do weekly level. So this line here, right? So this one is the one. So it would be interesting to see that you go here and reject. So for me, this area is very significant. There is level on level, so this area can also be significant, but that would be when we reach there, right? When let's say we go here and do this, right? That's where I would expect this area also to be important. But with this weekly candle, I feel this is the best confluence. Now let's see why, right? So according to daily, it's a good uh, candle, good rage candle. So there was a immediate reaction. According to weekly, we had a engulfing candle almost, engulfing the body. And then previous week was a doji, no strength, no weakness. Feels like just a simple bounce. And this also was a doji. So basically, you can consider this as accumulation, right? So what I expect is something like this. So now what you have is a weekly confluence with a daily confluence, uh, which would be with news, CHF news. So that's amazing, right? So for me, this is one important setup. So let's compare Euro CHF also, right? Just in case, because they would be related, right? So Euro CHF is good in terms of they also have something equal lows, and I believe this is a good weekly supply here, potential weekly supply. Let me change this to weekly level. So what you can see, this is a good area for that. So either one, I like GBP CHF more by the looks of it. But if one goes down, the other would be ideally what you want. Ideally, the best setup would be they both come in this region together, right? So that would be good. Yeah, so this would be interesting scenario with interesting POI with Euro CHF. Now let's go to the next setup, which is odd on odd NCD. What was interesting about this one? I don't think so. It may come here, but you never know, right? So I'm not predicting anything, but if it comes here, this would be a great setup. And the reason I say that, so if you think about support resistance, this is a good level. Right at that level, you have some confluence, which is 8 and 12 hours. So this is 12 hour. You see this awesome supply, where this line is the preferred one for the preferred supply. And if you look at 8 hours, similarly, great supply, right? Look at this rejection. So I believe this is the great POI for odd NCD. Now you'll ask me, what about the trend, right? You are playing daily candles. Look at this huge rejection. So what will happen is, without predicting anything, something like this, right? Or from here it goes up, or from here it goes down. We are trying to capture this move. So that would be odd and ZD, which I really like. The next is GBP odd. What I really like about this setup is this down move here, right? What would be amazing is, everything gets aligned and all that, multiple names in supply. When that happens, that's a great setup. So this here has daily supply and it also has 8 hour supply. So if we go to 8 hour, look at this rejection, right? So it's one of those setup where daily and 8 hour confluence is there. And if you consider this, right, look at this one. So if you consider this as a supply, what you have is weekly supply here with pivot point here, right? So what I am targeting is this area has lot of confluence. So you have that weekly level, you have daily, you have 8 hour supply. So this is really interesting to me. I don't know if it will come down here, but I think it should come somewhere here and then bounce. Now, after that, I don't know. Again, trying to capture that move. Uh, the reason I would not hold this for a long time, like let's say you were targeting something like, let's say this way, right? So I would not hold that for that long, because if you zoom out, this is in a strong trend, right? So maybe this here is the drawn liquidity and it goes there. But what I know right now is it should pull back somewhere here. Ideally come near this region somewhere, right? So that's what my target is for GBP odd. Then similarly, there is Euro odd. So with Euro odd, I think what is interesting is this area is interesting. So imagine GPB odd in that area and Euro odd comes in this area. That would be great. What can also happen is it has taken some rejection from this level. So maybe it goes back and then comes down. So, but GBP odd has much cleaner setup. So I believe I would prefer that one, but not quote, don't quote me on that. I think what matters is wherever the price action series at that moment, like a good rejection, that's what we will focus on. But I think here to here is something which can work. Put your risk to reward. I target 2 hour and you can grab that move. The next is GBP NZD. So this one, the reason I like it is you can consider. So firstly, there's this daily and 8 hour. So this is daily, and I will show you the 8 hour. Where did that go? Here. So is this 8 hour? Oh, eight. That's what I was. So let's go to the 8 hour here. Yeah. So 8 hour. Look at this candle, right? It has been tested a little bit before, and but I like that preferred version if we can get there, right? Because that area will have like the least risk. What you can also consider is if you look at 1 hour, right? So this rejection was strong, this rejection was strong, right? So what you can consider when it comes to here is something people call turtle soup also. So that can be also the setup that you can think of. But basically, in supply and demand terms, there is this great rejection here, which has been tested a little. And I believe if it goes above this area, then this is a turtle soup from these. And this 8 hour and 12 hour, 8 hour and daily supply can give you 2 hour. And if you look at the previous week, it's has a doji, there's no clear sign of strength, it's a red candle, so that's good. After this down close candle here, it has just been consolidating. So at least some move to the downside is possible. Now again, will you hold it for like let's say bigger move? No, because the trend is clearly up and strongly. So like no, not worth it, right? There's no need to hold for longer. If you get your 2 hour, you're good to go. So that's where my thought process is about this supply and demand. The second one is if it comes here, right? There's this uh daily demand which can act. I wouldn't like hold my breath on that. I will just focus on this one in particular. But that is something where if the reaction happens and everything aligns, maybe something to think about. So if we go down, I would just target my 2 hour, not hold long for this one. So this NZD USD, this is something I wanted to talk about is in terms of COT data. So I was talking about CHF last week and I was saying it's not completely there right now. Like uh it's not at a place where you can be like, oh, this is a COT signal. It's not there. But if you focus on this one in particular, uh NZD USD, right? And let's go to NZD USD COT data, you can see commercials are bullish and retail and what do you say? Retail and non-commercials are bearish. So they're extremely opposite side. So what I'm trying to say here is technically this is a good zone. Fundamentally, it's aligned. So what I'm trying to say here is it can really go up, right? So that's what my main point is. So what I mean by that if it comes back here, it can be a good long. So let's go back to NZD USD and let's close these ones. Right. So in terms of NZD USD, what I'm trying to say is if it comes back to this area, you should think about going long. Uh, with stop loss, what you think, whatever you think. But my point being, this area, any bounce from this area can be legit. Because firstly, not only it's a great demand, like a weekly demand, but also the fundamentals are aligning. Lastly, I wanted to talk about JPY pairs, right? So JPY pairs, if you see JPY pairs, what I love about JPY pairs. So before going into USD JPY in general, let's go to these three. I have three listed here. So look at those weekly candles. Look at those weekly candles. So you have a down close candle on 1, 2, 3 at least, right? You have a down close candle clearly. So can it bounce, let's say from here to like top, let's say here? Yeah, sure. But because it's such a big down close, as long as it's not bullish engulfing, this cannot like immediately turn to a green candle, right? Like a bullish engulfing. What I mean is like the probability wise, it's low, right? So I like what JPY pairs are doing, and what I like if we get some nice trade here. But what am I waiting for? So let's say for me, let's say this is a good demand supply area, right? For on daily time frame. And we can go to 12 hours and all that. That's fine. But most importantly, what I don't want to see is this candle, the next candle go above this or something. So what I would like to see here is, let's say we have a doji here. That would be great because then that means this is accumulation, maybe manipulation happens here and we go down. Let's say we have a candle which comes here, rejects, and there's a long wick here, right? A little bit of wick here. Then also that's great because this area then is acting like a supply, right? I would like to go in lower time frame and see that what's the rejection like? Does it look very strong or something? But the good thing about USD JPY or JPY pairs in general is this pattern is everywhere, right? So there's this here. I don't like this one a lot, but I like Euro JPY and USD JPY. But I will only and only focus on this if there is one more day where I'm sure that it's not reversing. So I will wait for that day and then we can look into this. So these are some of the important supply and demand areas that I really wanted to focus on. Again, the news ones would be GBP CHF, where there's news that can align with it, or odd pairs, right? So something to look into, something to think about. CHF can also, because it's CPI month over month, can affect Euro and GBP also, but that's my main focus here. Where if I can find something with news, with quality supply and demand, that's where my main focus would be. So these are all the inequality supply and demand that I think I would keep an eye on. And I thought like I should share with you guys. So that's it for today. Let me know how I can help further. We can learn together. Please feel free to like, share, and comment for more of such videos. Thanks, everyone.